What's going on, y'all? You're now watching the greatest channel that has ever existed. My name is Bitcoin Benito, and I truly appreciate you guys for being here with me. So today we're going to talk about the new explosive price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has now hit its all-time high of about $77,000. This is the first video that I have, but the Bitcoin price recently hit, like I said, about $77,000. It's a little bit lower now. It's about $79,000. So I think it just hit its all-time high. Look at this. I can't even keep track of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has now hit $79,000, which is a new all-time high. Insane. Let's see what its all-time high is. Its all-time high happened 19 minutes ago. I'm recording this on November 10th at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bitcoin has just exploded dramatically. I've been telling you guys that this is what's going to happen. So the fact that it exploded this dramatically while I'm recording this means that it's going to continue to happen. The price of Bitcoin is only going to continue to explode for the next 13 months or so. In fact, let me take a screenshot of this because I need to tell people on Twitter about this. Follow my channel. It's actually Bitcoin Benito. It's down in the description. I have multiple channels, but the Bitcoin Benito channel is actually the only one that you need to actually focus on. Yeah, so go to this channel, bitcoinbenito.com, and I will give you the insights all the time. Boom. Got to tell the people what's going on in the news. So before I get into how well Bitcoin is doing, I want to read some comments from my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. I would not be here without you. The first comment that we have is from TitanX that says, shared this on my Twitter account. Always love your content. You the Shiba OG. Yes, I am. And then I said, I appreciate you. And I really do. I love all my subscribers. Wouldn't be here without you, of course. Always for the low says, you ain't no shit. Of course, people don't believe in me, but I'm tired of fighting them now. And I responded, been in crypto for almost 8 years now. I think I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Bitcoin has only been increasing in price for the past 16 years and is going to explode. Next year, it's 16th year. I mean, you would be stupid to not get into Bitcoin. I'm going to explain in detail further why it is absolutely idiotic to not invest into cryptocurrency, not invest in Bitcoin, and especially cryptocurrencies. The cryptocurrencies I talk about, TitanX, Shiba Inu, Pepe Coin, the top 20 cryptos that are coming out, the top 20 non-tethered to USD cryptocurrencies that's coming out, the non-stable cryptocurrencies that's coming out, the top 20. They're all pretty much guaranteed to do a 3x from its really relative low. So that means that they're all going to do about a 2 to 5x. If you buy them now, you're going to double your money or quintuple your money, guaranteed, or your money back within the next 12 to 13 months. I'm not a psychic. I'm not a fortune teller. This is based off of the halving event that happens in Bitcoin that's written in the code. It happens every 4 years. You would be very stupid to not get into Bitcoin now. 𝑅6708 says, oof, liquid loans. Yes, liquid loans is not doing as good as we thought it would. Focus on the cryptocurrencies that I tell you. Liquid loans is related to Pulsechain, but I would just get into Pulsechain itself, do liquidity farming or stable pools on Pulsechain. You can do a liquidity pool where you connect Pulsechain to Hex on the Pulsechain network, or Pulsechain connected to the incentive token. Okay, so do that. You're going to probably, not only is Pulsechain going to do a 100x from its all-time low, that's been my prediction since the beginning, but with this liquidity pool, you will also add another 30, 40, 50% on top of this 100x all-time low. So this 100x turns into 130x, 150x, okay? So another smart, intelligent thing to do. And then finally, second to finally, we have Crypto Undercover Agent that says, thank you for having me, TitanX. Yes, I did a live stream with him. It was very interesting. We had about 500 views. It was a very interesting stream. And then LX Pro's response, Mr. 𝐂𝐫𝐲𝐝 himself, good live agent. Yeah, 𝐂𝐫𝐲𝐝 is doing good. Look into that coin. You can invest it in. I think it's doing pretty well. Do your own research. Crypto undercover agent responds. ZK is up to explode. Yes, I'll look into ZK. I think it's doing a little too well. I want to get into low cap coins. I want to get into coins that are in the top 500. These are coins such as, of course, I always say Pulsechain, 𝑂𝐫𝑧𝐻, and TitanX. They're all in the top about 500. So I invest in them, and they're all going to explode because their value is worth so little that the only way to go is up. And then I responded 𝐂𝐫𝐶 for the win. In fact, let me see how 𝐂𝐫𝐶 is doing. There's my face. 𝐂𝐫𝐶. So it's up 6% right now. It's a fairly new coin, right? It hasn't even been around for a year. If we look at the max chart, 𝐂𝐫𝐶, by the way, is on the Solana network. Yeah, so 𝐂𝐫𝐶. Okay, so it's not really doing that well. It came out in June. It's not doing that well from its all-time high, but ever since August, so for the past 3 months, it has only been going higher and higher and higher and higher. Look at it in the past 3 months. We see that it is, come on, computer, be fast. Okay, so there you go. It's only been exploding in the past 3 months. Okay, so yeah, okay, it's actually on the ETH network. Well, it's on the ETH network, it's on the Solana network, it's on many different networks. Okay, and then the final comment that we have is from, oh my God, what's going on? From Passive Wealth that says, "Keep going, brother. I'm in 𝐿𝐺𝐼𝐻 to live from Toronto, Canada. Love seeing brothers in the field." Thank you. Yes, I just so happen to be a black man, in case you didn't notice. I'm from Ondo State. Well, you know, my parents were born in Ondo State. I was born in Washington, D.C. And Nigerian people doing big things, big things. I think Nigeria has the second most involvement in cryptocurrency outside of the United States. So all my Niger brothers, we're doing well. Okay, let's read the article that I have today. The article says, from Cointelegraph, that says, Bitcoin $77,000 rally and now $79,000 rally won't spark over-evaluation fears like stocks. Bitcoiners don't fear over-evaluation the way stock traders do, says Bitwise Invest CEO, after Bitcoin reaches new all-time high. Now, why do we not care about the over-evaluation or overvaluation of Bitcoin? Because we all know that Bitcoin is going to reach its peak at the end of 2025 because of what I said earlier, of the halving event almost always guarantees, in fact, it always guarantees that Bitcoin is going to reach its peak about 12 to 14 months after the halving happens. I should say 12 to 18 months after the halving happens. The halving happened earlier this year, around May, June of this year. So therefore, between 12 to 18 months after May of this year, Bitcoin is going to reach its all-time high. Now, I say it's probably going to be closer to the 18-month range, maybe 17 months. So that's why I always say October 2025 is when Bitcoin is going to reach its all-time high. And Bitcoin has reached, it has always made multiples on top of its all-time high compared to the past. In fact, we're going to look at Bitcoin's all-time price. So the first halving event, and then therefore its increase, was in its local all-time high. And when I say local, I mean local for the past 4 years. Its local all-time high was about $1,100 in 2013, the end of the year, 2013. So this happens all the time. Look, it reached a high of about $1,200, $1,100 in 2013. Then 4 years later, it happens all the time, 4 years later in 2017, which is probably when you guys heard about Bitcoin, it reached another all-time high of 19,000, right? So that's an increase of about 17x from its previous all-time high. So from 1,100 to about to about 19,000 is an increase of about 17x. Okay, so this price is about 19,000. 4 years later, in 2021, we see the price reaches its all-time high of 69,000. It's about 67,000. Okay, so we take that 20x. And we're 19,000, I mean, we take that 19,000 and then we see here that it reached about 70,000. And that is a increase of about 3.5x. So it grew about 3.5 times in those 4 years. So as you can notice, although the price of Bitcoin keeps increasing, its increase reduces as time goes on. So this pretty much means a guarantee that, okay, so I had an all-time high of 69,000, let's say 70,000. This pretty much guarantees, right? And the multiplier was 3.5. So that means that this multiplier is going to be about 2, let's say 2. And the reason why I don't say it's going to be 1.5 or something like that is because now we have institutional investment into cryptocurrency. So this is going to keep the price high, and it's going to make the price go higher than it would have been if it just had been us regular consumer investors. Okay, so that means that Bitcoin is going to have, probably worst case scenario, it's going to have a price of about $140,000 by the end of next year. So that means that it's going to increase about 90% in the next 12 months. Is there any other stock that's guaranteed? Now, there's going to be other stocks that's going to grow more than 90%. But is there any other stock that's guaranteed to grow 90% in the next year? Tell me. There's none. You don't know any other stock that's guaranteed to grow. And when you have the altcoins always do much better than Bitcoin. And in fact, new altcoins that have never seen their all-time high will therefore do a 10x from now, 20x from now, 30x from now. Pulsechain, TitanX, 𝑂𝐫𝑧𝐿 can all do 10, 20, 30x's from now. Okay, maybe even higher. Some of them will do 100x. Some of them it will do 500x from right now. It has happened every single time previously. It will happen again this time. Okay, and you need to get your family members into this. Okay, you need to get them into this coin. But before I tell you why you need to get them into this coin, let's read the article. Okay, so Bitcoin hit its all-time high this week and it isn't triggering overvaluation concerns from investors. People see the rise in Bitcoin price as more likely to succeed. Well, duh. For stocks, at certain point, people say, this is overvalued. Bitcoin is not overvalued. Bitcoin is undervalued. Bitcoin should be worth about 120, 130,000 right now, but it's not, because people don't believe in it, because Bitcoin goes up and down, and people think that it's a scam, and therefore it doesn't reach its actual value. Okay. However, without the same financial performance metrics, when Bitcoin's price goes up, people view it more likely that it will succeed, of course, and therefore be even more valuable. Yes, definitely. It's always been the case. It will always continue to be the case. At the time of this publication, Bitcoin is $79,000. Wow. It's trading at 77,000, but it's actually 79,000. Okay. So this article is about 2-3 days old. During the United States presidential election trading week, U.S. spot BTF recorded inflows totally approximating $1.63 billion came into Bitcoin. Okay. And this is because Donald Trump was elected, and Donald Trump is a Republican, and Republicans are always do better, or at least they always do better for investors. They may not do necessarily better for the economy, but they always do better for investors, for businesses, because they are heavily focused on reducing taxes. And anytime a business has to pay a lot in taxes, the first person that actually suffers from the taxes is their bottom line. And sometimes they reduce the amount of income that their employees get. Okay. I'm not saying that Republicans are good or Republicans are bad. I'm just saying the truth of the matter. Other Bitcoiners have shared similar sentiment, with no fears of overvaluation as assets continue to trade above its all-time high of $73,000 that just happened in March. Okay. So Bitcoin is continuing to grow. Okay. So someone says, today I own 73 whole Bitcoins. God damn. Robert Kiyosaki, the creator of Rich Dad Poor Dad. A year from now, I intend to own 100 Bitcoin. Yes, he's very rich. And a year from now, Bitcoin is going to be at least $140,000. So 100 times that means that he's going to have about $14 million worth of Bitcoin. 14 million. Worst case scenario. I bought my first Bitcoin at $6,000. Yep. And now Bitcoin, mind you, no one really cares about Bitcoin right now. He bought it at $6,000, right? Bitcoin was $6,000. When was Bitcoin $6,000? Yeah, Bitcoin was $6,000. Bitcoin was $6,000 5 years ago. Okay. Bitcoin was $6,000 4 years ago during the Corona crash. Okay. Less than $6,000. So 4 years ago, Bitcoin was $6,000. Bitcoin has already done an 11, 12, 13x right now. And no one cares about Bitcoin, and has already done a 10, 13x. Okay. So because you're smart enough to get into Bitcoin and you're smart enough to watch this channel, you should know that you need to get into Bitcoin and don't be stupid. Okay. So Positive momentum is expected to continue for Bitcoin. Meanwhile, capital market commentator Infra noted that the company's equity valuation could be diluted further by raising capital through the at the market offering, something impossible with Bitcoin. Yes. So Bitcoin doesn't act like the traditional investments. Bitcoin will only continue to increase in price. And you need to get your folks into Bitcoin. Okay. And the reason why you need to get your folks into Bitcoin is because everybody is suffering. Look at this right here. 67% of middle-class Americans say they're struggling financially and don't expect their situation to ever improve. This was June 2024 by the National True Cost of Living Coalition. Okay. So most people think that they are struggling. Most people are struggling. And most people think that there is no way that their prospects are going to increase ever. No, most people do not have any hope. This is probably why Trump has won, is because nobody believes in the U.S. economy. They tried Biden Harris for a little while, and it sucked and it crashed. So now we're trying Trump again because Trump made the economy a lot better in 2016, 2020, 2020. Okay. And this is despite the fact that he says crazy stuff. He has crazy bans. Like he did a Muslim ban in 2016. I don't know if you forgot. But good thing we have checks and balances. They slapped him across the face and they're like, come on, bro, what are you doing? And it wasn't necessarily a Muslim ban. It was just about 8 Muslim majority countries, right? Because ISIS was going crazy, but he wasn't intelligent with his ban. Instead of him blocking the actual terrorist or people involved with terrorists, he blocked the whole country as if everyone is a terrorist that comes from these countries. Very foolish, Trump. What are you thinking? All right. So tell your family, tell your friends that Bitcoin is only going to increase. Bitcoin has only exploded. Bitcoin will only continue to explode. There's nothing that you can do that will stop the growth of Bitcoin because the growth of Bitcoin is written in the code. So as you can see, everything is exploding. These are all the coins that I'm heavily focused on. Mother is up 22%. Jesus Christ. Bread is up 12%. Oxy is up 8%. The only thing that does bad recently is TitanX. Now, TitanX does the opposite of what Bitcoin does for some reason because the valuation is baked into it. So for the past week, it's been doing pretty bad. But as soon as Bitcoin cools down in the next week or 2 or 3, TitanX is only going to explode in price. Okay. So don't be so fearful. Like a week from now, TitanX is going to say it's going to be up like 25%, 30%. Okay. So continue to invest into TitanX. Okay. So the price of Bitcoin is absolutely exploding despite inflation being terrible. Okay. So look at this. According to the United States inflation calculator, the cost of a single Bitcoin today at around 67,000. Imagine that 67,000, right? This was written in March. Around 67,000 would need to hit 78,000, right, to claim the same value as Bitcoin in 2021, the year it saw its record high. Of course, this would be more of an indictment of the US dollar, which is trash. You need to get into Bitcoin. Now, the US dollar is trash, but it's not permanently trash, right? Its inflation is about 10% a year. A little bit less than that is about 4% on good years and 10% on bad years, like this year. Do not believe what they say that that the inflation is like 1%. That's fucking bullshit. It's terrible. It has reduced, so it's about 5% right now. But earlier this year, it was about 10%. Put differently, Bitcoin's market peak said its week would have the same purchasing price value, whatever, 60,907 in 2001 and 55,000 in 2017. Mind you, this all-time high that will have a value of 55,000 in 2017. In 2017, it reached its peak of 19,000. So in comparison, adjusted for inflation, that $19,000 that you bought at the peak in 2017 is worth $55,000. I'm sorry, what was this? Yeah, 19,000 in 2017. It's worth 60,000 in comparison to the all-time peak in 2021, where it hit about 69,000. It's worth about 60,000 now. But we see now that it's worth almost $80,000. So that $69,000 in 2021 is now worth $80,000 adjusted for inflation. Okay. And this is the beginning of the bull market. Crypto is only going to explode. The same thing, it would have been worth $52,000 in 2013. 2013, Bitcoin reached its peak of $1,100. So at $1,100, adjusted for inflation, will now be worth about $52,000, and now it's about $10,000 more. So now it'll be worth about $62,000. Okay, that $1,100 will now be worth $62,000, and this is the worst price to have bought in 2013 because it reached its peak. That's, you're buying at the all-time high. That's the worst time to buy. You need to buy low, sell high. Okay, and by the way, I want you to invest into cryptocurrency now, and I want you to sell it. Please sell it for dollars, even though I've been shitting on dollars this whole recording. I want you to sell it for dollars at the end of 2025, okay? So sell it for dollars, take that money in dollars and invest in other things, such as stocks, such as housing, such as a business that you're trying to start, okay? So I'm telling you this because I thank you, I love you, I appreciate you. Let's get this money.